Though the agreement may be old, the threats are renewed. Armed with placards, members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASUU have declared their readiness to shut down universities nationwide, citing failure of the federal government to meet their demands. The grievances of the lecturers centered on the government's failure to implement the renegotiated agreement, the withholding of salaries, and the need for improved funding of the country's higher institutions of learning, among other issues. They also rejected the recently introduced Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund loan scheme. Kaide, ASUU is angry over unmet demands and has threatened to strike. But what do you think can be done to avert the shutdown of universities? I don't need this now.
I think conversation has started, and I want to believe that there will be more transparency this time around. The fact that we are saying that we have to reach, because it appears ASUU is bent on that 2009 agreement. However it is, one thing is important, and I think I like the process this time around. They started for protest, and the protest is to make it clear to everyone, to let us know that these are the issues that you should attend to before it leads to strike. Because the word strike gives me that kind of, bad feelings that I don't like seeing. But having said that, I think government should listen to them. Government should give them all the necessary attention. Let's put the paid, because I thought this issue had been permanently resolved. But for ASUU to come up again and say, hey, there's been a lull, we've kept quiet on this issue, but it appears that we have not addressed some of the critical issues. Because I'm surprised to hear that these outstandings, especially the salaries, have not been cleared. Because I feel, especially the uni-learning varsity students have been taken care of. Many of them have moved on, but whatever it is, agreement is agreement, and it needs to be honored. Absolutely.
But BK, why has the renegotiated, 2009 agreement remained unfulfilled, despite talks over the years?
In 2009, they had the agreement, and government said they couldn't find the funds to implement the agreement fully. Then came the Buhari regime, because ASUU continued to point at that 2009 agreement. The Buhari regime, by itself, set up the Musalin Jibrin Committee. Musalin Jibrin was former executive secretary of Universities Commission in our country. So he knows a lot about the welfare of academics and all that. He came up with recommendations. The government refused to implement those recommendations. Some of the recommendations include even the hand allowance, the matter of IPPIS, some of the demands had to do with IPPIS and academic allowance, even the matter of proliferation of universities. They had been demanding since 2009 that we should do something about the proliferation of universities. I'm happy that this government has now frozen
for 7
years. The setting up of new universities. But ASUU is saying that even private universities, they should stop approving giving approval for new private universities as well. Now, after Professor Musalin Jimbrin's panel report was discounted, the panel was set up December 2020. The panel report was discounted. Remember that before Musalin Jibrin, we had Babalakin. Babalakin headed this panel that was meant to interface with ASUU and find a solution. Babalakin left in anger. He left the job in anger. Then, once Musa Jibrin was done with his work, and the same government that set up the committee refused to implement the committee report, they then set up the Professor Neme Briggs committee.
Okay.
Neme Briggs again, by the same government, the same Buhari government. Neme Briggs again came up with recommendations that they refused to do anything about. So the question you then ask is, why set up committees when you knew
we are not going to implement
ab initio that you will not honor their recommendations? A professor in a university earns about 460,000 naira per month, depending on how.
Exactly.
Yes, those is just in that average, 460. Neme Briggs said, no, a professor should earn at least 2 million naira a month.
Which is fair.
They must have looked at that money and said, this one is too much. Oh. Even when the industrial court said disenroll academics from this IPPIS, they didn't take action. Waited and waited and waited. It's just, sometimes by our actions we provoke these people. The revitalization fund for universities that they've been asking for, if you go to some of, especially our first generation universities, you will see why there's a need for that revitalization fund. Because it's meant to freshen up infrastructure in those universities. Go and see some of those universities. Go and see the buildings.
Some of the old buildings.
You know, some universities are lucky they have alumni who are doing well, who will help them freshen up infrastructure, build hostels, this and that, like we see them do in Unilag. Because Unilag, the alumni, they are very, very big people in different spheres of life. But not all universities are that lucky. The kind of money that the alumni of Unilag can muster. Some universities, even many first generation universities cannot even muster it. You know? So the funding of universities has to improve. The wages of academic academic workers and other people too, non-academic workers, because without them, even the academics can't function. You need to do something about it. And government is a continuum. President Tinubu has inherited this problem. He has to find a way to solve it. Because it was the same president who said, don't pity me. Since you said that we should not pity you,
all our problems.
The problems, at least the problems like this ASUU thing, because I don't want a disruption to this the calendar, the academic calendar. And so far, this government has done well to keep these lecturers at their desk.
I think it's part of the promises.
Yes. So they need to do their best to meet these people. You cannot pay all of this money, especially the revitalization fund at once, but you can do it incrementally, so that at least they will be happy and we will see that progress is being made.
All right, in rounding off this conversation.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. We can't, they've done well with the students, with the NEL fund and so many other things. But, you know, what will it profit them if there is no classroom to attend? So we don't want to hear the word strike again. Let's do the needful. Let's attend to them. Let's not wait for this strike to come back. Let's give them all the necessary attentions. And the ministers or whoever is on the table should be very sincere and very, very frank.
Absolutely.
About this.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Beautiful analysis, especially the first story. BK was shaking tables.
Yes, we journalists need to check ourselves.
Exactly, we need to check ourselves. We need to look inwards.
We'll say the way it is.
Absolutely. BK.
God created us to speak the truth.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for doing this, BK. Thank you so much. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria. Beyond the Headlines is up next.